Hello, once again, students. You're welcome once again to our geography class, and you all know me. I'm Mr. Glorious, your geography teacher. Today, we are going to be teaching you about geographical regions of Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have different regions. Yes, to start with, we have the lesson content. One which includes the lowland, talking about the Chad Basin, the Sokoto Basin, the Niger Benetral, the Cross River Basin, the coastal plain and coastal lagoons, and also the coastal creek and Niger Delta. The first and foremost, the Chad Basin. In the Chad Basin, it is located in the northeastern part of Nigeria and it covers about 13,000 square kilometers. The Chad Basin is generally low and it is between about 45 to 60 meters above the sea level. Here we have the place like the Komadugu, the Yobe, the Shari, the Logone, and the most importantly, they drain the Lake Chad. Here, the temperature ranges from about 25 degrees high, and rainfall is quite low for the whole of the year, which is about 300 millimeter to 600 millimeter 4 months in a year. Also, it comprises the vegetation that is quite low to about 0.5 meters to 1 meter high. Talking about the population density, it is estimated to be 30 persons per square kilometer, which is recorded to be low. And as well, this major ethnic group in this region includes Kanuri, the Shura, the Fulani, the Hausa, the Magi, the Bura. They are predominantly Hausas in the group. In this region, we can also see that the major places or settlement that encompasses under this Chad Basin includes Maduguri, the Damaturu, the Potiskum, and here there is a lot of large deposit of potash. There's a large deposit of other mineral resources like salt. Generally, like other settlements, the developmental problem includes lack of transportation, their hostile weather, their short rainy season, pest and disease rampage there, and as well they have lack of industry, which includes insecurity as well in their developmental problem, and this has really hampered the Chad Basin to be quite known among other regions in Nigeria. Moving from that, we have the Sokoto Basin. Sokoto Basin is quite known to be located in the northwestern part of Nigeria and it covers about 40,000 square kilometers in Nigeria. It lies for about 100 meters to about 200 meters above sea level and it is majorly composed of sedimentary rock, which includes the plains of Sokoto, Rima, Zamfara, and Rima Basin, which drains the river. Also, the temperature ranges in this region from about 24 degrees Celsius to about 33 degrees Celsius. And this region receives less rainfall, which includes about 3 to 4 months of rain, and it is less than 800 millimeter in a year. The vegetation here is like that of the Sudan savanna, which includes short grasses and trees of about 1 meter to 2 meters high. This happens to be a major problem in their weather condition, which reduces the level of productivity in agriculture. The Fulani are the major predominant persons in this region and Hausas, and the population density is always less than 50 persons per square kilometer as calculated. It includes rural settlements, which include the Sokoto, the Benikebi, the Yauri, the Ileja, the Gonyoro, and Shinkafi. This has majorly retarded their development agriculturally. Here, you can see that the vegetation is of the Sudan savanna and it is filled of stunted trees that we can see majorly in the northern part of Nigeria, and the height is about 1.5 to about 2 meters high, which is of a place that has low level of rainfall. Also, we can see that there are several tribes that are dominant in this area that are majorly of the Fulani and also Hausa ethnic group. Yeah, their land is uniformly flat and also it is drained by by some rivers. The river water withdraws during the dry season and leaving behind some form of alluvial soil. Their economic activities include livestock raising, rice planting by the process of irrigation, and also there is a large deposit of limestone and gold therein. And this has helped to boost the economy in Sokoto Basin. And as well, Sokoto has some different problem like also other basin that we can find in the northern region. They have a problem of severe wind and wind erosion. Also, they have drought due to lack of adequate rainfall, and there is pest and disease like other basin in the northern part, and they have a difficulty in good transport system. Yeah, the frequent drought has always led to pest and disease and drought taking over their agricultural farmland. This leaves farmers in disappointment and discouragement, and thereby hampers their economic growth. The next one we are looking at is the Niger Benue Trough, and this is a big river basin that divides and separates the country into two different spheres, the north region and also the south region. The Niger Benue Trough is wrapped around the north central plateau, and it starts from the Sokoto plain in the northwest through Lokoja, and it ends at near Yola. The trough is an elongated bowl shape which is a lowland. It is also perhaps an extension of the Atlantic into which sediments are deposited. It is a plain that is generally less than 300 meter above sea level. Niger Benue Trough has been deeply cut to by erosion and into tabular plain. The population around here is quite low, and its density is around 5 to 40 persons per square kilometer. The major settlements includes Jeba, Lokoja, Bida, Baru, Mina, including Yola. And here the vegetation is like that of a gallery vegetation, which is plainly in the valley region. The temperature around this region ranges from 22 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. Likewise, rainfall from 1,190 meters to 1,370 meters, ranging an average rainfall, or probably likely called a mid-level rainfall per annum. The vegetation around here varies from forest in the southern region to savanna in the northern region, due to the fact that it cuts across the middle belt of Nigeria. It is a level of transition of vegetation in the country. The vegetation dominates the river valley, and it is of gallery. We can say here that the level of rainfall is quite moderate. The major tribes in this region includes the Nupe, the Ebira, the Gwari, the Tivi, the Idoma, the Igala, the Bassa, Nge, the Jokun, and also the Kambari, as well as other tribes inclusive. And here, the population density ranges from about 5 to 40 persons per square kilometer, as it spreads across a large expanse of land which ranges from Jeba and Lokoja to the end of Yola across the middle belt of Nigeria. They are majorly known as the Mosaic tribe, which display their cultural heritage in their basic local attire and their cultural features. Yeah, the economic activities includes plantation of cash crops. We have the likes of groundnut, cotton, tobacco, beniseed, which is also known as sesame, and also they have their fishing system and the raising of their livestock. Hydroelectrical power is also their major generation of economy in this region. The place is also deposited with mineral resources which include salt, and the river body provides them with a lot of fish during their fishing season. Kenji, Shiroro Gorge and Kenjeba makes up their generation for hydroelectrical power. Their problems, like other basins, includes low population density. People tend to move far away from this region because of its location. As well, there is lack of industry. And in this region, insecurity due to farmers' elder clash, and it has always been a problem right from time. Their insecurity also ranges to the extent of kidnapping around that region. And the, onto the next, we move to Cross River Basin. It is located in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Rock that can be found here are of sedimentary basement, which includes shales, sandstone, limestone. This place is a tributary drain. The vegetation that can be found here is of the parkland type, and it can also be called the subtropical grassland and scattered trees. Yeah, the major ethnic group that can be found here, to the north and western part, we can find the Igbo, and to the south and eastern part, we can find the Efik. Here, the population density is more, and is of 20 to 115 persons per square kilometer, unlike the Sokoto, Chad Basin, and the Niger Benue Trough. Also, we can see that their economic activity is of mining, fishing, farming, transportation due to accessibility to both road, air and rail form of transportation. Their production of cash crop is majorly a boost to the economy, which include palm produce, cocoa, rubber, timber, cassava, yam and problems majorly include excessive rainfall and rural to urban migration. In the coastal plain, here it is found in the lowland southwestern and southeastern parts of Nigeria, which is made up of deposits of sandstone, sand, clay, mud, and here we can see that about 30 meters above sea level, and the vegetation is of the lowland tropical rainforest because of the excessive and or probably a moderate rainfall. Yeah, the rainfall can range from about 2,000 millimeter to 30-50 millimeter per annum. And we have the temperature, which is of the moderate range from 20 degrees Celsius to 33 degrees Celsius. The temperature here actually equates it to make it a tropical rainforest. Their source of economy is of mining, which includes mining of gravel, ceramic clay, limestone, and lignite, which is used for the production of light and electrical energy. Also, we have cultivation of cash crops of oil palm, rubber, kola nut, and timber because it's a rain forest. Their developmental problems includes excessive rainfall, which leads to easy erosion of the surface soil, and it has problem of high population density, which puts more pressure on the land. Also, there is a low agricultural productivity, which is also extend to an extensive deforestation. In this region, it is majorly likely to experience lack or shortage of food supply, which will need to buy products of food and byproducts of agricultural farm produce from neighboring communities. Yeah, the solution can goes to the extent of control of soil erosion and soil conservation measures. Also, they can go to the extent of controlling of the deforestation activity and reforestation to ensure that there is a major upshoots in the economic activity. There can be a promotion in the industrial and commercial activities of this region. The next we are looking into is the coastal lagoons and creek. This place is a continuous stretch of land which includes the shoreline, coastal barrier, lagoons, creek and estuaries in the southern parts of Nigeria. They are built up of lagoons and with alluvial deposit of sand, clay and mud. This type of region is found along beaches in the shoreline, and it is a continuous stretch of lowland which moves in a kind of system of waterways and the coast of the country. Yeah, the temperature ranges from about 27 degrees Celsius to about 33 degrees. Like the mean annual rainfall, it ranges from 2,000 millimeter to 3,500 millimeter per annum, and it can experience a long period of rainfall due to its natural environment. The natural vegetation here varies from coconut groves to thickets in the barriers. The economic activity in this region includes mining of building sand, glass sand, salt, phosphate and other form of minerals located deposited in this region. Also, they include production of palm wine, local gene fibers and mats. Here we can see that developmental problems include poor accessibility due to the poorly drained swampy environment, and here there is a problem of pollution of lagoons and the blockage of waterway and fishing ground by water hyacinth, which can also lead to an extensive coastal erosion. Now the next on our list, which is the last under the lowland, is the Niger Delta. It is an extension from the Atlantic Ocean to the west in the Imo River. It takes off from two big tributaries, which includes River Nun and Forcados, and it is a smaller deep tributaries to the rivers and creeks in the region. It is comprised of the ancient sand and pockets of clay which you can find, and it's covering a lot of alluvial deposit of sand and mud. Yeah, the temperature is always wet with rainfall ranging from 2,000 millimeter to 4,000 millimeter per annum, the highest of all the regions in Nigeria. And the temperature ranges from about 24 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, which is minimum and adequate in temperature. Also, the vegetation is of the middle belt and it cut across a lot of variation. Here, the economic activities include cultivation of cash crop, which we have oil palm, cassava, plantain, fishing, and here there is an extraction of natural gas and crude oil. We all know Niger Delta to be a major source of oil to Nigeria. The developmental problems include its swampy environment, which makes it inhabitable for human, and its poor accessibility due to its swampy environment. Here, sometimes during mining process, we have oil spillage which leads to water pollution and pollution of agricultural lands. There is always rural neglect in this region as well. Moving on to the next on our content, we have the upland, which includes the Jos Plateau, the Western High Plains, the Eastern Highland, the Eastern Scapland, and the islands of the Hausa land. First and foremost, we are to be looking at the high plains of Hausa land. Basically, the islands in Nigeria is divided into five of probably four regions, where we have the islands of the high plains of the Hausa land, the Jos Plateau, the West High Plains, the Eastern Highland, and the Eastern Scapland. On our map, we can see it delineated, where we have the North Central upland as well. Talking about the Jos Plateau, we have the Jos Plateau in the high plains of Hausa land, and it is made up of mostly volcanic rocks, which is of about 1,500 to 1,800 meters above sea level, comprised of areas like the Kaduna, the Mada, the Gboko, and here temperature is quite low, which is about 21 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius, with rainfall of about 2,500 millimeter per annum. Here, the mineral resources we can find here is tin and columbite, and they are involved in so many cultural and agricultural activities, which include raising of livestock and crop cultivation. We have the corn, the Irish potato, the Guinea corn as well. Their population density here is 60 to 100 persons per square kilometer. The problems they have here: difficult terrains which lead to poor road network or inaccessibility to some regions there, and there is a lack of industries to convert their mineral resources into a major boom in their economy. In the next island, or upland rather, we have the Western High Plains. The Western High Plains cover about 1,500 square kilometer in the Niger Valley, and it's made up of metamorphic rock. It's drained the north-south rivers that flows from places like Ogun, the Osun, the Ose, the Owena River, and it ranges from in temperature from about 24 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, and the rainfall ranges from about 1,000 to 2,500 millimeter per annum. And here we have a natural vegetation which is of a lowland rainforest due to the mid-level of rainfall in this region. It is majorly occupied by the Yoruba people, and it is an urbanized region of Nigeria which comprises of places like Ibadan, Oyo, Ogbomoso, Ile-Ife, Saki, Iseyin, Ilorin. Here we know that their major activity are of cash crop, which includes the kola nut, cotton, cocoa, timber, marble, gold, even cassava and yam. Meanwhile, the problems facing their development include bad road network and also bush burning, deforestation, pests and disease. The next is the high plains of the Hausa land. This lies in this part of Nigeria. The highland plain is of Hausa land from lower steppe with an average elevation of 750 meters to 1,800 meters above sea level. It has a southwest steep cap that overlooks the high plain of the height of about 1,600 in the northeast, which falls from the plain steadily, and the highest part is the Share Hill in the northeast Jos, where an elevation exceeds 1,650 meters. Here we can see that the temperature is of 25 degrees Celsius to 37 degrees Celsius, and the rainfall ranges from 600 to 1,430 millimeter per annum. The savanna vegetation is what we can have here, and the height of the vegetation is about 2.5 to 3 meters above sea level. Also, the soil that can be found here is lateritic in nature. The urban area that can be found here includes Kaduna, Zaria, Katsina, Kafansha, Kotangora, Minna and the rest. Here we can see that they are into production of cash crops, which include cotton, beniseed, which also can be known as sesame, livestock grazing, ginger cultivation, Guinea corn, which is also known as sorghum, yam plantation, maize, sugarcane, and this happens to be their major source of economy. Also, the problems here includes bad transport network, poor soil, drought due to unreliable rainfall, and we have the rampaging pests and disease in the region. The next, we have the Eastern Highland and the Scarpland. Here, the rocks are made of sandstone, shale, clay and coal, and it covers an entire eastern part of Nigeria, including the coastal areas and the Eastern Highland. We have here the Cross River Plain and the Scarpland that lies in the Enugu, the southeastern coastal plain, and the Territorial Rock, which lies in the start of the Capland. In the island, temperature is about 20 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius, and rainfall is about 1,800 millimeter per annum. In the Scapland, we have temperature to range from about 24 degrees to 30 degrees Celsius, and rainfall is almost the same. Here they have cotton, cashew, palm produce, coffee as their cash crop production, which boosts their economy. Also, they are into transportation and raising of livestock. Thermal energy generated from coal mining is also a major source of economy to them. Problems include bad transport network, erosion, overpopulation, pests and disease. Here, in conclusion, we can see that the geographical regions collectively contribute to Nigeria's cultural diversity, and also Nigerian coastlines along the Gulf Guinea feature estuaries, mangroves, coastline and its sub-fisheries, and its contribution to the growth in economy and development of urban centers. Here we have come to the end of the lesson, and till we meet again, thanks for watching. Do have a great day.